New Jersey rock band My Chemical Romance is one of the most impactful bands of the 2000s, consisting of vocalist Gerard Way, guitarist Frank Iero and Ray Toro, bassist Mikey Way, and drummer Bob Breyer. I will not be diving too much into their history, as there's already plenty of video essays already covering that topic. Today we are focusing on how did My Chemical Romance amass such a huge LGBTQIA fanbase? How did their outspoken pursuit of challenging homophobia and gender norms impact the queer community today?
You guys have something special that you're bringing to Hellfest, some sort of message that you want kids to know about, anything like that?
Oh man, we're here to save kids' lives.
Yeah. What are you doing to save kids' lives?
Bringing a message.
The message being, save kids' lives?
It's a rock and roll exorcism, dude.
To be alternative means to go against the norm. It is often reduced to an aesthetic choice. However, being alternative has always been political, to challenge the conservative values and show support for the misfits, the outcast, and those who would otherwise be looked down upon in society.
Filth are my politics, filth is my life. Take whatever you like.
Gerard Way is no stranger to outspokenly standing up for those values. Dripped out in long black hair, white foundation, and red eyeshadow, Gerard never hid his connection to the queer community, whether it was through their lyrics, experimenting with gender-fluid fashion, or kissing his guitarist on stage. Let's begin with the lyrical analysis and queer references in their music. Their 2004 album, 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge, Gerard explores this on You Know What They Do to Guys Like Us in Prison. Inspired by his relationship with Burt McCracken of The Used, the song is written from the perspective of a prisoner, coping with his new life in a cell, as well as his sexuality, gender exploration, and lost masculinity. He passionately declares on the chorus, "Now, but I can't, and I don't know how we're just 2 men as God had made us. Well, I can't. Well, I can." In the second verse, he proclaims, "They made me do push-ups in drag, but nobody cares if you're losing yourself. Am I losing myself?" Other notable lyrics from this album are "He's not around, he's always looking at men," from To the End, as well as "Don't I look pretty walking down the street in the best damn dress I own," in Give 'Em Hell Kid. My Chemical Romance further explores these themes on 2006's The Black Parade, with lyrics such as, "Here's my resignation, I'll serve it in drag," in The End, "Drown all the boys and girls inside your bed," in This Is How I Disappear, and "'Cause I love all the poison, away with the boys in the band," in The Sharpest Lives. And most famously, the lyrics to Mama have deeply been connected to and been adopted by particularly their trans fans, although not inherently relating to transness in the context of the song. Where do I even begin with Mama? Side note, I am writing this chronologically, so I will be touching on Gerard's gender expression and discussions later on in this video, as I believe his statements and support for the community, which come later, have influenced people's new perception of the song. Although Mama is technically intended to be from the perspective of a soldier attempting to mend his relationship with his mother as he knows he will meet his fate soon, lyrically, it can be interpreted through the lens of a trans person in a religious household and the oppression they face from the outside world. Pretty much the entire song can be perceived through this perspective, but to summarize, lyrics such as, "Mama, we all go to hell. Stop asking me questions. I'd hate to see you cry," and "When we go, don't blame us," relates to the hopelessness and desperation queer people experience when being rejected after coming out to their family. In addition to that, the pre-chorus, where Gerard cries out, "You should have raised a baby girl. I could have been a better son. You should have been. I could have been a better son," followed by the pre-chorus of, "She said, you ain't no son of mine. For what you've done, they're gonna find a place for you and just you. Mind your manners when you go. And when you go, don't return to me, my love." Presumably unintentionally covers the displacement and non-acceptance thousands of trans people experience in their family life. 2010's post-apocalyptic concept album, Danger Days, tells the story of a rebellious group known as the Killjoys battling against an evil corporation. In the album, Gerard plays a character known as Party Poison, which many fans have interpreted as non-binary due to their androgynous look. Gerard acknowledged that this was interesting without confirming or disapproving of this interpretation. In October 2012, My Chemical Romance started releasing songs from a compilation album titled Conventional Weapons. Notable queer-themed lyrics from that album are featured on the songs Boy Division, which is one of my favorites, Make Room, and Burn Bright. In Boy Division, Gerard sings, "And sell your arteries to buy my casket gown. Well, it better be black black, and it better be tight, and it better be just my size. In Make Room, Gerard sings, drag star, so cool. There's only room for one man, and the one is you. And in the second chorus, he sings, got a taste for the cash and androgyny. Lastly, in Burn Bright, Gerard sings, kissed all the boys in your city light. Now that we have covered all of the lyrical references, I'm going to discuss notable interviews and performances which the band outwardly discusses queerness.
You're cute too. That guy was cuter than you, though. You're not as cute as this. Look at this guy. He's fucking cute.
In a 2007 interview, Gerard and Frank discussed how their support for homosexuality was not accepted and that they distanced themselves from the punk community as a result. Gerard describes his gay fans as
They're actually, some of the most special ones.
And
They are so bold and brave.
for being able to go to a show and feel comfortable as themselves as
They're some of my favorite.
Frank Iero was also often spotted wearing a shirt he made himself that said, homophobia is gay. Gerard would often change lyrics on stage or announce the next songs with references to sucking dick.
This song is about sucking dick for cocaine. Big difference between me and David Cassidy. I suck way more dick than this.
Getting f***ed in the air.
This song got us arrested in France because it's about getting fucked in the ass.
Most famously, taking a ride in a guy's IROC and getting totally f***ing pregnant.
This song is about the time I took a ride in a guy's IROC and got totally fucking pregnant.
My dream date. Cute.
As well as kissing Frank and simulating other provocative motions I cannot insert clips of. Following MCR's breakup, in 2014 is when we see Gerard more openly discuss his relation to gender identity and support of trans people. Around this time, Gerard released his solo album, Hesitant Alien. And on this tour, he would often take a talking break during each show to express support for the transgender and non-binary community.
Every night I basically want to say that I just give you my undying support. I know how much courage it takes to do what you're doing and to really be your true self. I know that that must be extremely hard, and you have my support. And if you got friends out there that are transgender or non-binary and you're a really good friend to them and you really support them, then I love you so much. I'm transgender, and I have been speaking about it probably for months now, and it kind of comes out of me just saying I support you so much. People that are non-binary, I support you so much. It takes a lot of courage. I know it takes a lot of courage, and it's really fucking hard, and I appreciate it. And I love to see you being you. If you have a friend that's transgender or non-binary, you're good to them, I love you.
On June 22, 2013, a fan tweeted him and said, "So you pretend to be gay to get our attention and buy more MCR albums? You're very clever." Gerard responded, "Actually, the purpose of the stage persona was to challenge gender standards and homophobia, not for slashification. #PointMiss." On December 21st, 2014, Gerard tweeted, "Be human to each other, educate one another, be accepting and supportive of someone's gender identity, get talking, learn more." In October 2014, when asked about pronouns, he stated, "I do prefer he." However, following that in June 2015, he stated, "I've always preferred he/they," followed by, "Yeah, people can use whatever, I don't really have a preference." In early 2015, I believe, I could not find an accurate source, but I'm basing this on the context clues of this interview, Gerard sat down with Kerrang! Magazine and discussed his appreciation for the trans community. The interviewer asked Gerard about their open support for the trans community and when they felt it became something they needed to talk about. Gerard responded with, he was exposed to it due to his wife's trans friends and social media. I became very aware of what was going on. He acknowledged the youth were struggling and the really ugly side of people trying to recondition them. I feel like they need a lot of support, especially the young ones. All of them, really. When asked if they receive support from trans people, they said every day, and that they meet a handful of trans and non-binary kids at shows. The interviewer followed up by asking, is there something about their music that gives them a safe space? He responded that, because he is fearless with his expressiveness, that there must be a connection for them to feel safe at their shows. Because to be a kid that's transgender, you have to be fearless. When asked if they struggled with gender, they responded with, no, I had times I'd been a little confused, but I've always identified as male. I can't find the original tweet Gerard was responding to, but relating to this interview, Gerard Gerard tweeted, "Thanks for the pic. It's fairly obvious that I did in fact struggle with gender, but not prepared to talk about it." As this was a written interview, I am not sure if Gerard was misquoted in the previous statement, or if he said that because, as he mentioned, he is not prepared to talk about it. In an AMA from May 2015 on Reddit, a fan congratulated Gerard on his new album, then followed up by asking, "I've been really inspired by your style and how you incorporate a little bit of glam, a little bit of femme into your aesthetic. In fact, the way you present on stage and in music videos helped me figure out my own gender identity as a teenager. Who are your style icons? What was your inspiration for messing with masculinity in the ways that you do? Thanks for everything." Smiley face. Gerard responded with, "Wow, I'm so glad that helped in figuring out your gender identity. I've always been extremely sensitive to those who have gender identity issues, as I feel like I've gone through it as well, if even on a smaller scale. I've always identified a fair amount with the female gender, and began at a certain point in MCR to express this through my look and performance style. So it's no surprise that all of my inspirations and style influences were pushing gender boundaries. Freddie Mercury, Bowie, Iggy, early glam, T-Rex. Masculinity, to me, has always made me feel like it wasn't right for me." Shortly after the Reddit post, a fan tweeted him, telling him they appreciated hearing their thoughts on gender as they felt the same, and Gerard responded with, "I spent a lot of time being very confused about gender when I was younger." Gerard has expressed distaste for labels several times, as well as people projecting identities onto them. In May 2016, they tweeted, "I don't use labels for anything. Using labels only gives others the leverage needed to categorize you or use you as a political tool." Followed by, "To further their own ego-driven agenda. This is a personal belief and may not work for you. Also, the more information you give people, the easier it is to be manipulated." The context was a discussion about mental illness, but it's possible they're also referring to gender and sexuality here. I'm going to take this with a grain of salt because this interview has since been removed and I cannot find it online, but according to Gerard's Wikipedia, in an interview with Boyzine, they stated, "I never really subscribed to the archetype masculinity growing up. I had no interest in sports or anything like that. There was a time where I was called a girl so often that when I discovered the idea of transgenderism, I considered myself to be more of a girl. So I identify with trans people and women a lot because I was a girl to a lot of people growing up." On the glorious day of October 31st, 2019, MCR announced that they had reunited, and shortly after, a comeback tour. Initially postponed due to the pandemic, the tour officially commenced in 2022. With this tour, we got to see Gerard go beyond androgyny and embrace dressing more traditionally feminine at assorted shows. In Nashville, we got to see Gerard wearing a vintage green cheerleader uniform. In Detroit, we unlocked the ever-so-sexy Nurse Gerard. In Mexico, Gerard took the stage in a Joan of Arc outfit. In Houston, he was a Manson girl, and at Riot Fest, they dressed as Jackie Kennedy. There were also many instances of him wearing skirts, as well as female office wear, also referred to as the secretary outfit. Thank you so much for watching my return to YouTube. I'm sure there may be some things I may have missed in this video, but I hope the general message was received well. I've never made or edited a video like this before, so if there are some hiccups, please forgive me as I plan to improve and get better in the future. I have lots of videos already written and planned for you all. And if you made it this far, please tell me your favorite My Chemical Romance song or songs. I can't pick just one, and not in order. Mine are The Sharpest Lives, House of Wolves, Boy Division, Thank You for the Venom, and I Never Told You What I Do for a Living. Also, please let me know if My Chemical Romance has influenced you in any way, queer or not. My goal with this channel moving forward is to discuss lore and themes primarily around rock/alt/metal artists. There might be a few others in there, but that's generally the genre I lean towards. I don't plan on covering anything heavy or dark because I think there's enough of that in the world, and I just want to have fun and perhaps a little bit of a distraction. Thank you all again. Stay safe, don't do drugs. If you do drugs, do them safely. Goodbye.
Oh. That guy in the pit never got the memo. If you don't like My Chemical Romance, you wait outside for your girlfriend.